excuse me, Mr. Show-Off.
You know you're not supposed to be on the table.
Yep. Alright, so the number one thing that you should know about and or bring for Antelope Canyon specifically relates to if you have one of these. And that is, hey guys, I'm Chris.
I'm Alex.
This is Colson. Hartley's over that way. We're with Hart and Cole, and we are a full-time traveling family. We are living in our RV, traveling around the country, trying to teach these little rugrats about
a thing or two.
A thing or two, exactly. So if you're new here, thank you for watching. We would love to have you subscribe. On a side note, if you're like me, I have to watch like 2 or 3 videos of someone before I'm going to subscribe. So I'll link one here. If you get through this video and you enjoy it, go check one of our other videos out and consider following us on our fun little journey that we've got going. So today, we're going to be going over Antelope Canyon.
Upper and lower with the kids.
With the kids and everything that you need to know about some of the ins and outs of Antelope Canyon. The number 10 thing you need to know for Antelope Canyon
is make a reservation in advance.
Yes. Now there's a small caveat to that, which goes down to
we did not
point.
make a reservation in advance.
Yeah. So it's crazy busy, super popular, all that sort of stuff, especially on the photography tour. For the most part, we're going to be focusing on the
red pepper flake on my tongue. It's really spicy.
Oh, that's gotta be spicy. So yeah, the number one thing is to make a reservation. I will, a little later on, tell you how to do the Upper Canyon without a reservation though. The number 9 thing is no backpacks,
kid carriers,
no tripods, no GoPros. It's basically, these tours are geared for iPhones.
Yeah, and they're pretty short. It's not, both our kids could do it, and the only time they really needed to be carried was probably by the very end of the second, or maybe up and down the stairs. But
yeah,
for the most part, they did really well, and they're not that long, so you can get away without doing a bunch of carrying stuff.
Hi, boys.
Do you remember Antelope Canyon?
Come here, bud. You want to come say hello? Can you say hi? I think we're on to the number 8 thing to know. And this is kind of a no-brainer if you know anything about Antelope Canyon. But they are very crowded. They pack as many people into these places as they can possibly manage. And it kind of takes away from the experience a little bit. Hi. I don't know how I feel about the crowds. Like, the canyons are crazy, crazy impressive and very cool, but the amount of crowds in the Upper Canyon specifically, you are like shoulder to shoulder sometimes trying to go through some of these narrow spots.
And even if you pay and go in, you're not actually free roaming in the canyon. You are with a guide in a group, and that guide takes you through the canyon and kind of shows you different, it's great because they show you different things, and they show you all the formations. They help you take pictures with your iPhone. They kind of help you through and then like shuttle you out, you know, so you don't stay at one place too long. You kind of have to go with the flow. So
the tours are about 45 minutes. And that is going to be the number 7 thing. The tours are not very long. 45 minutes to an hour on both tours. The upper tour is a little bit... Either tour. The upper tour is a little bit longer because you do get to drive in this like converted truck with a bunch of seats in the bed. We actually got to ride in the cab because of the little kids. The number 6 thing to know is that if you're gonna do the regular tour, it's geared for iPhones. I struggled a little bit with my good camera because you can't bring a tripod, and there's a lot of really low light areas in the canyon where I had my eyepiece to my eye, and then my head rested against the back wall of the canyon, holding it up, trying to take a picture with a decent ISO so that I could get a halfway okay picture. And so it was a little challenging in that. So if you are any form of photography and want to get some of those cool pictures, definitely do the photography tour, which that one you basically have to book way out in advance. And I'll talk about some of the differences between the photography tour and the regular tour in a little bit.
I would suggest, if you really need to know, or you really need to bring something that requires a bag or something for that 45 minutes that you're out there, call the company that you're going with and they'll give you those guidelines. We just left everything in the car and brought a water bottle.
Yeah, I think actually since we knew the time frame with Colson, I think I stuffed a diaper in my back pocket and basically brought my phone and camera. They didn't even want a Gorilla Pod or a Joby little tripod. Basically, the reason that they don't want any of this stuff inside the canyons is because the amount of people that go through it, it ends up abrading the sides of the canyons and scratching and damaging the walls of the canyon because the sandstone is relatively soft. So it's understandable why they don't want it given the amount of traffic. Now, the lack of stuff to bring does actually change with the photography tour. And there again, we'll talk about that in a little bit with some of the differences between the two. The next thing, what are we at? The number 5 thing to know about Antelope Canyon is that there's a difference in the hikes between the two. Yes. Lower Antelope Canyon has elevation gain and is a one-way canyon. Yes. Which makes the crowds feel significantly less. And I think they also are less people.
I think so. It's a little bit narrower than the Upper Canyon. So basically you enter in and you take stairs down. You view the canyon from the ground up, obviously, and walk through it. And you're gaining elevation through the hike. And then you pop out on the upper...
Up on the top. And go back to the...
where you come in.
Yes, where you come in, exactly. So Upper Canyon is different in that the floor of Upper Canyon is totally flat. It is a sand floor and there are no stairs, there's no climbing.
So they drive you out to Upper Canyon. Thank you,
Colson, buddy.
They drive you out to Upper Canyon and then you walk in, you get to the end.
You take a couple minute break at the end of the canyon.
You turn around and go back the other way.
Yeah, and so it is somewhat a one-way tour in that they show you all the sights and all this stuff as you're walking up. But then on your way back, there's I wouldn't say they push you, but it's a very quick pace. It's basically book it back to the truck and get out. So, I mean, they definitely have it down to a system of show everyone all the sights on the way up, take pictures, and then book it on the way out. The number 4 thing to know about Antelope Canyon is going to be in relation to the Upper Canyon only. The Upper Canyon is where you get all of the light shafts and the really phenomenal, amazing pictures. I was not aware that those light shafts only occur during the summer. I think they start showing up around May or it's May, and they're only there for a couple of minutes at the very beginning of the season. And then once you hit midsummer when the sun is directly overhead, you get an hour or two of these light shafts coming through in the middle of the summer. Thank you, that is Mama's phone. So, the best time of day, that's going to be the number 3 thing to know about Antelope Canyon is the best time of day to do these is in the middle of the day.
That's not nice.
So, middle of the day, you get the sun overhead, you get better pictures.
Get down.
Colson.
What's that bump? Listen. You're going to moon everybody.
Oh my god.
Potty training is awesome.
That's ridiculous, kid.
Number 2?
I know what number 1 is, and I'm saving that one. But what I'm looking at our list here, and I think we've kind of combined everything.
What about suggestions of things? One thing that I didn't think about going into Antelope Canyon is because it's sandy and everyone's walking through, I would suggest a bandana or a buff to cover your face.
Good call. I totally forgot about that. It is super dusty. This is especially true on the upper canyon. And so I actually didn't even realize it, but when you see these pictures of these light rays coming through the canyon in this like beautiful kind of haze.
Haze is all the
That
dust.
haze is there because the amount of people walking through the canyon.
And I felt really bad because the kids were really low to the
so
ground, and
they're
like
breathing a lot of dust in, and I actually had totally forgotten about that. It is definitely kind of dusty. Excuse me, Mr. Show-Off.
You know you're not supposed to be on the table.
Yep. All right. So the number 1 thing that you should know about and/or bring for Antelope Canyon specifically relates to if you have one of these. And that is a laser pointer. I know you're looking at me like, why the heck should you bring a laser pointer? Well, needless to say, our 2 apparently are like cats, and they weren't very enthused on the upper canyon. And
They got over it.
They did get over
About
it, but
20 minutes into the canyon hike, they were done.
our guide had a laser pointer, and he started
You're not
pointing
supposed
on
to
the
climb on the
walls
table, Bubba.
of the canyon and the floor, and the kids were just like
Is it
running
pointer?
around trying to grab it, totally
Laser
losing
pointer?
their minds. It was amazing. So
That's really
I know the number 1 thing for us does not maybe apply to all of you out there, but
If you want to get your kids through Antelope Canyon,
it's worth a try. You can get one at PetSmart for like $5 for a cat, and then it's like,
because you can't bring anything else.
no, you cannot. Okay, so the differences between Antelope Canyon, between the upper and lower canyon. I think we've kind of covered most of it, but the big difference is that I would say they're both outstanding, phenomenal formations of, oh my lord, that was a
Okay, why don't you talk about that?
child butt to the face. Okay, so for this part, Alex and the Colson are headed up to the other part of the trailer because he is just way out of control. So the difference between the upper and the lower canyon is there's a fair amount, but there's also not a ton of difference. So if I had to recommend if you were going to pick one of the tours and you were going to do the walking through tour and not the photography tour, I honestly would recommend the lower canyon because it's a one-way. You feel a lot less crowded. It's a little more engaging, being that you're climbing some of these stairs and going up over some places, and you don't have quite the feeling of being herded like cattle like we did on the upper canyon. Now, if you're gonna do the photography tour, totally different ballgame. Run the upper canyon 100% because the pictures you get out of that place are amazing. And the nice thing they do with the photography tour is that they actually spread out the photography tours, and all of the companies that run tours through there know when the photography tours are going, and so they don't run the regular tours. So there's a lot less people in the canyon during the photography tours. They last longer. You're allowed to bring tripods. Side note, do not change your lens inside the canyon, hence why we were talking about all the dust and everything. So whatever wide angle lens you're going to use, stick with it, and that is the lens that you're going to use. Don't even think about changing your lens in there because it is crazy dusty. Some of the photography tour packages, there's multiple other canyons around that you can do. You can do just Antelope, or you can do, I believe there's 2 or 3 others, and I'm going to put them right here in the video as far as the names because I forget what they are. Those are our tips, recommendations on Antelope Canyon. Overall, I would gladly say you should do it. It's a very unique formation, one of those things that is basically nowhere else in the world. But the crowds, similar to Horseshoe Bend, like if you watched our video, links right here, for Horseshoe Bend, the place is crazy crowded. I mean, it's one of those where social media has definitely drawn people to these places because they are amazingly beautiful. And so it's really cool to get to see them, but the crowds are definitely something that you need to know about, especially in a place like this. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it useful. We've got a lot of other stuff coming up, and we will see you guys in the next video.